Hello friends, ANDI VAX here, and today's review is coming on the eve of Halloween.
ANDI.
Who is there?
I'm the one who's been always with you from the very first day of your life. I'm your death.
Where is your size then? What a stupid joke.
This is not a joke. Your time is come. You must come with me.
No, I'm not ready.
One cannot be ready to meet me. Just come with me.
Hey, stop. What about mixing and mastering from ANDI VAX mastering and my reviews? I have so many ideas.
There where we will go, there is nothing but emptiness. All things earthly have no meaning.
Death, no offense. But may I postpone you? Or better still avoid you for good?
As a matter of fact, I love having fun too. Actually, there is a way. But it's way too late now.
Whew. Well, at least tell me about it.
There was a time you played rock and metal, and you were of good use to me. But this time you forgot how it feels to bring darkness to people. The darkness in you is growing smaller. This needs to be stopped, and thus I am here.
How about make a review that you will like? A really cool and ballsy heavy metal one.
Well then, go for it. Surprise me.
Long time ago, when ANDI VAX was still a teenie, everybody in the former USSR played metal on both guitar pedals. At first, it was both DS1, circa 1979. But the truly revolutionary one was Boss Metal Zone MT2. Around those times, hardly anyone knew about combos, and thus the pedals were connected directly into the mixing desks, right into the line inputs that are. The sound without using a combo revealed a terrible amount of high frequencies. These days we can check out the whole beauty of that sound using emulations by Mocha-Fix Metalcore or Native Instruments Mi-Zone in the guitar rig. It reminds me of my youth and that gritty sound. As time went by, digital technologies began to flourish. It was a call of duty for every self-respecting guitarist to purchase a processor made by Line 6, Digitech or Zoom. It was a huge step forward. Apart from being pedal emulations, those processors also offered combo emulations as well as various effects. With the advent of digital emulations on a computer, in addition to monsters as Line 6 with their products like Gearbox and Pod Farm, big software manufacturers for guitarists like Native Instruments and IK Multimedia also entered the market. It is worth mentioning that around that time, guitarists almost uniformly choose two processors for professional work: the XFX2 and Kemper profiling amplifier. These devices respond to the way musicians perform in a very lively manner. However, the price tag for this definitely scares away an average user or a project studio owner. And then a true gift for all the appreciators of software sound came along, from software engineers who offered affordable processing, and some of them even free of charge. Amongst them, the Lipu and TSE Audio, a plugin titled X50, is the one I will tell you about right now. Well then, my friends, let us check out this source guitar. It is a guitar double track. Now let us see what TSE X50 can offer us. Right on the top are switchable modules. A module for guitar pedals, an amp module with its detailed setup, a cabinet module, and a module with FX racks. On the bottom there are quite interesting control parameters: an input control, a learn function right-clicking which allows to switch pickups types, either active or passive. I am using passive pickups, so let's switch to passive. Let's press learn and then playback. The signal will be analyzed during 5 seconds, and the input control will be adjusted to provision the optimal quality signal chain throughout the plugin. Here you saw it happen. Then there is the output control of the plugin. Double-clicking brings it back to the default value. In the config, we see the current version of the plugin. Let us also set it to high quality mode. Oversampling, standard and automatic modes. Oversampling of 4 times for DAW playback and 8 times for rendering purposes. Please note that many DAWs have a function of informing plugins regarding available rendering modes. This needs to be switched on in case if you want to use that mode, and in case if you want to use one channel only when our guitar track is in stereo, then here we can choose either the left or the right channel. The third-party impulse response tab allows to set up our own path to impulse responses. As you can see, I have done so. And for the lucky earners of a licensed version, there is this license activation. Now, let's see step by step. What is it that this wonderful plugin TSE X50 can offer in version 2.3? Right-click and we can add a module, a noise gate and 2 distortion units, an emulation of the Tube Screamer, the amazing and iconic pedal, and an emulation of Pro Co Red. Let us go with these modules so that we can drag them and swipe them with these buttons. Everything is quite handy, but it is a pity that the wires don't dangle around like in Reason. At the moment the units are switched off, so let's check out the overdrive. Professional guitar players call an overdrive a warmer, which serves the purpose of warming the sound up before it hits the amp, to add aggression and anger to it. Let's switch off these modules for now and take a look at the amp section. Turn it on. This is a classical American amp. Please leave a comment if you figured out which one it is. You can switch between channels green and red. Red is an angry, dense and aggressive sound, whereas green is not that angry, rather more crunchy. Let us compare them. We are set up a heavy and ballsy sound, so we will be using the red mode. In the middle, we see a simple EQ section, lows, mids and highs. Also pay attention to the gain control, which here is labeled as pre-gain. In order to optimize it, let's see how it affects the sound. As you can see, the sound is very clear and audible, and yet not powerful enough in the starting position. Tuning the gain control up eventually sets the sound out of control and makes it quite illegible. Thus, our goal is to find a spot where the sound will be legible and dense at the same time. Hence, more gain does not mean better. It only means that you will have an illegible sound of your guitar. Something like that. We will leave further tweaking aside until switching the combo emulation on. Now let's turn to the Power Amp tab. Please note that when we tune it down, we can also tweak the post gain, the one on the output that is, and also a simple EQ, with low and high frequency controls. They call it presence here. Here we have very interesting functional capabilities. First, we can switch between tubes types of the amp, and then we can deal in the operating spot on the tube curve with this bias control. It is impossible to set up this parameter universally, but rather separately for each track, for each particular sound on the input and for each particular guitar sound. Once set up, we can get a more aggressive or a smoother sound. In the options, we can turn amps on and off. There are MK1 and MK2 modes, two modifications. Mode 1 is turned on by default, a sort of a more aggressive and out-of-control sound, which is highly favored by shredders. And MK2 is a more controllable sound, which however doesn't offer that aggression and density. Moving on, we have the most tasty things, combo emulations. Two sections of emulations, where only one is enabled by default. We can turn it on like so. Section number 1. Let us listen to the impulses. X50 is what comes with the plugin itself, and browser is a list of third-party user-defined impulse responses. Let's see what this plugin can do. Here I found a cool sound that I like a lot. Let us try to set up combo impulse responses in section number 2 and find an interesting sound here as well. I guess I like this one. Please note that here in the middle we see a graph of our impulse response, which can be affected with these EQ dots of high and low cut filters. We need to right-click and enable this to make them work. It is not that handy to right-click to turn this on and off. There's an open spot down here where it would be nice to see controls for that EQ to be able to turn them on, off, and type in numeric values. Here is impulse response conversion quality mode selectors. The higher the better, and so much higher the CPU consumption. I'm using the max mode. This is the impulse response operation mode switch. In stereo mode, the left channel is processed by section 1 and the right channel is processed by section 2. In dual stereo mode, the signal is processed by either of the sections, which are later on combined. This makes for a denser guitar sound, a sort of a virtual quadruple. I like to use the dual stereo mode for written guitar parts. Please note that switching between modes alters the volume quite a bit. In order to be able to compare the modes and deal in a specific sound, I love to see either an automatic gain compensation or an A/B comparison functionality in the versions to follow. In dual stereo mode, you can also right-click the volume controls and reverse link them. Take a look at how it works. We don't hear section 1 now, and the sound is processed by section 2 only, and vice versa. A very interesting and handy functionality. In stereo mode, the width controls turn into simple pen controls. Delay controls for left and right channels in milliseconds. Movement controls are meant to introduce some sort of liveliness into our combo impulse responses. However, I did not notice a big impact in sound in use. And phase inverting buttons. Let's equalize an impulse from section 1. I can tell you the built-in impulses are very good. And let us examine the FX rec, output effects. A tuner. We won't hear sound when this is turned on, but we'll see it working. Right-clicking allows to delete either one of the modules or all of them. A delay titled King Pone works in standard and ping-pong modes. It can be synced to the host DAW tempo. Here's a simple EQ section to cut high and low frequencies. A width control, a feedback control and a dry-wet mix control. Quite a decent delay. And an amazing EQ titled Aqua Laser. There is a high cut and low cut filters on the left and right sides. For the high cut filter we see a filter steepness selector, from 12 up to 48 dB per octave, and 3 peak EQs. This EQ sounds simply amazing. Please note that all of the controls beside the ones that are in the cabinet tab first need to be linked to an appropriate automation parameter in the right-click pop-up menu in order to be automated in your DAW. Use this plugin in your productions and support the manufacturer. The price is around 50 euros, which is a steal considering the sound and functionality that it has. Now several requests to the makers. First, regarding EQ controls. There is a free spot for those around here. And also, it would be nice to have a gain compensation or an A/B comparison functionality to properly compare the sound when switching between modes. And separate on and off switches for the EQ models. That will make doing before and after comparisons possible.
I enjoyed it, especially your door, the Reaper. Live on for now.
Well then, my friends, until new mixes.